my team, bring the steam like I wander from an oasis. And the race is right, now it's time to take my place in the sun. You can't deny the force. 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 You can't deny the force.
Resistance is futile, with governmental approval. Invented on the defense of abuse, get futile, it's brutal. So expensive, petty speed, electing foreign symbols, all suspended sentence.
Self-suppression and evidence will be met with belligerence.
And you can hesitate penance, cause like the president intent. Hence, your confession is expected if you think they were presenting in a method, yes, you guessed it.
Blessed are we who come in the name of J.
Our word spreads like a
Oh, I declare.
It's a state of emergency, the prison and a sense. So don't expect the reality, depend on humanity. It's enough for giving that you can't resist the skin. So give yourself a weapon, it's still feel the more emotional you see.
Cross cautiously. You can't deny the force. 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 You can't deny the force.
It's like we're back in the studio. Los Angeles, 1997.
That's a good analogy.
Brett Gurwitz behind the controls. This is Brett. I don't need to tell the truth, but I never lie. I don't need to bow to you. You're just passing by. I never wanted to be the one you bitch and moan and come home to. But as long as you look good, I'll come back to you. Get inside my troubled mind with all of your threats. Sometimes I think I was blind. Not before we met. I never wanted to be the one that you depend on for your life. When you cry, it smells like soup. Sound like Shona Knife. Never feel though I stand all night. I got a right. Each time I stand all night. No, I just might. You make me stand all night. It's just that side of you tonight that makes me stand all night. I'm gonna stand all night. You're an evil little girl. I'm a twisted man, tearing through your perfect world. Make you understand. I never wanted to be the one you bitch and moan and come home to. But as long as you look good, I'll come back to you and do the things you do. Stay all night. I got it right. Each time I stand all night. No, I just might. You make me stand all night. It's just that side of you tonight that makes me stand all night. I'm gonna stand all. I would never treat you bad. You deserve the best from me. If you want to keep your place, you better get down on yours. Yeah, Todd wrote this one.
Yeah. You think?
This is not mine. Stand all night, I got a right. Each time I stand all night, no, I just might. You make me stand all night. It's just that side of you tonight that makes me stand all night. I'm gonna stand all night. That's the round
Robin.
R.I.P. Todd.
Questions, comments, wagers, give us a reason. Sleeper fantasy play, your best alternative line, whatever you have. Text the Round Robin 757-354-5517.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, take us that star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
You are tuned in to the Round Robin with Stephen Murray on Deep End Broadcasting.
Down off in these streets, no money left to spend. Still thinking about the night before my brain is on the bed. Way up ahead, I see the crowd and flashing blue red lights. I run to see the crowd and jump.
You can catch the Pietasters at the Fort Monroe Ska Festival in Hampton, Virginia. 2 weeks from Sunday. Actually, 1 week from Sunday. So that would be during week 2 of the NFL season. Our Patriots play Sunday night. So we may be able to get over there for the late afternoon showing over there with the Pietasters in Hampton, Virginia. The house band of the Round Robin and the Deep End Broadcasting Network. I am Stephen Murray. This is the Round Robin. We are from the Chicks Beach Studios in lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, the United States of America, just after 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, we have a lot going on for sure. We have a full day in baseball. Nephew Dave, we did this last week, talking about the AFC, looking for windows of opportunity for the win totals. For example, we're going to do this today with the NFC. So, for example, let's just say Jacksonville Jaguars over under is what, 10.5 games, 10 games, whatever it is. So we perceive them to be an over team, and in their over teamness, instead of paying juice like minus 140 to go over or whatever it is, then we look for the window of 11 to 13, and the minimum payout for all of that was something like plus 450. So if we can hammer down a window of season win totals for these teams, then we're going to try to do, a little bit of a lesson there anyway. Why bet over 10.5 at minus 140 if we think we can nail the window for 11 to 13 games and get paid at plus 450. So that will be the goal today with the NFC teams there. Dave Del Grande, he usually comes on with us on Thursdays. He is now moved until Sundays for our main show, which will be 7 a.m. starting here on the network, deepend757.com, or wherever you catch us streaming through the various social media services. I need to get us up on the iTunes and all that stuff here soon. So we'll work on all that still. So a lot still to go with getting this broadcast out on several different mediums as well. Also, Nick Athen, we need to get our link up. We need to get we need to link his show to our page. And then 2, we need to get our show linked on his page.
That is ChiefsBlitz.com. Nick Athen, of course, in Joplin, Missouri, Kansas City. He is there today in Kansas City, but he's going to go back to Joplin. So he's not going to watch the Chiefs game live, which he usually sees a lot of them. But we will get with him tomorrow with live boots on the ground with Nick Athen and the latest. We'll see what the latest is with Kelsey. Injury there with the hyperextended knee. What's the extent of that? I guess we expect him back sooner than later, maybe even tomorrow. But, is it worth the Chiefs to even trot him out there, really? So we'll get to Nick Athen, see what we can get out of him about the Chiefs and Lions as we kick off the NFL season tomorrow night. It is here. We are fully on week 1 here in just about 28 hours. So looking forward to that. Can't wait. We'll try to get the Ant-Man on tomorrow, too. He is with family in Pennsylvania before he treks back down here to Virginia. But we'll see if we can build a same-game parlay. I saw something about Sky Moore over under 45.5 yards that has already intrigued me for sure. So we will take a look at some things and see if we can't build a same-game parlay for the game tomorrow night. If you're not looking at your promos, people, on your betting sites, you got to go to these promos. I mean, we have been getting all kinds of free plays, risk-free bets. It almost sounds like something you need to sign up for. It almost sounds like an inconvenience, but it is the most convenient thing, and there's no gimmicks or catches to it. Literally just follow the rules, and a lot of times if your bet's not winning, then you can go ahead and get reimbursed for that. And there's a risk-free bet on my site this weekend. There's also profit boost tokens, which that you got to use those two, people, because that it takes the edge off the book. The book always has the edge, but if they're going to give you a free profit boost on some of this stuff, up to like 50% at times, then you can capitalize that way as well. And we've had some nice tickets cash because all of that. So the other thing is too with that is use them. I mean, just use them because it's all free stuff. All right, so Del Grande Sunday, Nick Athen tomorrow. We're going to try to see if John Hale can't join us for tomorrow's show too, to pick the ACC games. If we can't get him, then we'll use Nephew Dave, the backup ACC sports picker. We're decent on those for the most part. I guess we expected more out of Clemson. Nephew Dave all over Florida State. How about that with LSU? And we'll go through some of the slate of the games this weekend as well with Dave when he comes on after the NFL little NFC exercise that we'll do with the win windows. So we'll go through the college slate later. We will go through the win totals and see if we can get some good plus money on the NFC stuff coming up as well. AFC was last week. That was last Wednesday. So if you find last Wednesday's program, then you can catch all the win total windows of the AFC. Again, for example, why take over 10.5 at like minus 140 if you think that the team that we're going to talk about is going to get 11 to 13 wins? Just bet 11, 12, and 13 wins exactly at plus 450, plus 450, plus 650, whatever the case may be. The average was a plus 450 on the payout. There were some plus 350s, but for really often the payouts are going to be even more extravagant. And we found a few cases with those. I think in particular, like the Colts under. I mean, if we really think they're going to bomb out, then we're going to get paid really, really nicely if we kind of hit that super under with them. If you listened to the show yesterday, and I told you it's going to be an overnight, hopefully you cashed a ton of tickets because we went, 32 Major League Baseball teams. One was a push, 2 losses. So yes, 13, 2, and 1 were the overs in Major League Baseball. And there were, I think, 5 games with 13 runs or more. And we pegged a bunch of them. So good job by us breaking down the games yesterday. And we will talk about that slate as well. In fact, let's go ahead and knock the baseball out. That way it's out of the way. We'll bring Nephew Dave in here. We'll do the NFC exercises, and then we'll do college football. And then tomorrow, it is all about the NFL and college. So all football tomorrow, a little bit of a lighter baseball slate, most of the action happening during the day. Okay, so let's refresh the scores and see what we have going on here now. We have, I think, one final. Yes, the Pirates upset the Brewers 5-4 in Pittsburgh. That was the first game starting around 12:30 this afternoon. We do have a couple plays going on, and we're going to be in decent shape as we try to get going here. Don't refresh on me. But Guardians and Twins, not a game that we have any interest in. 2-1 Guardians over the Twins. Top of the 7th, man on first for Minnesota. Bottom of the 7th, we have Cubs 8, Giants 2. So we have -2.5 and over 8.5. So we are looking good right there. And then we also have -1.5 over 11.5. So we need 2 more runs to show up. Cubs just getting a home run here. Let's see who hit that home run for the Cubs. Scoring. Bellinger, he goes deep. So he homers. 8-2 now is the lead for the Cubs as that score just flashes from 7-2 to 8-2. So the Cubs dominating the Giants in Wrigley this afternoon, and we like that so far. Give us 2 more runs either way, and we'll really be cooking. Because we also have the over. Now, we went extreme, 13.5, just because the pitchers are so bad with the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. And we have top of the 2nd, 2 outs, Rockies 4, Diamondbacks 1. So Zach Davies, the pitcher for the Diamondbacks, he is just a soft tosser overall. And the pitcher for the Rockies was Flexen. Yeah, that's right. So we like to fade Flexen as well. And I don't know what happened to him. That was a complete fall for glory for Chris Flexen. He was really good for the Mariners just up to 2 years ago. Now he's on the Rockies, and he's getting bombed out continuously. But the Diamondbacks a little bit struggling with the bats now, too, as well. Hopefully they can heat up a little bit more today. But right now, man on first, top of the 2nd, 2 out. Rockies 4 and Diamondbacks 1. So we need to blow up some more runs here. And hopefully we can get there. And we'll be really live going into the evening slate. Top of the 3rd now, we have Blue Jays 1, A's 0. 2 outs there, man on first for the Blue Jays. Actually, man on now on first and 3rd with 2 outs. Now to the middle of the 2nd with the Rockies and Diamondbacks as Arizona gets out of it. Top of the 1st, Phillies 1, Padres 0. Man on 2nd, no out. So the Phillies with a hot start after getting shut out last night. Get the first 2 men reach base. Schwarber actually homered. So 465-foot bomb to center field for Kyle Schwarber. And Bohm just went ahead and got a double. So he's on base as well. 1-0 Phillies over the Padres. No outs, top of the 1st. And we are leaning with the Phillies and the over on that one. We have Phillies -2.5 over 6.5 and -2.5 over 8.5. Games later today. We'll go ahead and break down the slate. Why not? We have Red Sox at Rays. We have Dodgers, Marlins. We have Mariners and Reds, Tigers, Yankees, Cardinals, Braves, White Sox, Royals, Astros, Rangers, and the Orioles and the Angels. So we'll keep it right here on the baseball. And next segment with Nephew Dave, we will knock out this NFC East exercise that we have going on with that. All right, so the Dodgers in Miami. We have Lance Lynn against Chargoy is the name, I think. Chargoy for the Marlins. I'm not very familiar with this pitcher. That's the first time I've seen him, and I've been paying attention to baseball all year. So let's see what we can get on him. He's 1-0 on the season for JT Chargois, 3.78 ERA, 33.1 innings pitched, 13 walks to his 26 Ks. Lance Lynn, 10-10, 5.81 ERA, 155 innings pitched for him, 164 hits, 171 Ks, though, in those innings pitched, but 37 home runs for Lance Lynn. So he is talking about getting bombed out. I mean, that's a pitcher, the righty Lance Lynn, getting bombed out there in the trade with the White Sox to the Dodgers. And with Urias likely to unplay again, at least this season, he's a free agent. So who's going to want to touch him, to be honest, with the domestic battery or assault charge, whatever exactly that is with Jose Urias. So again, the Dodger pitchers in peril. They need Walker Buehler back is what they need. They're supposed to have him back for the playoffs, but what will they get from him? That's going to be the big question when he's able to come back. So Lance Lynn is the favorite against the Marlins. I would look at the Marlins, although I didn't play this per se. I would maybe look at the Marlins for sure, and they might be able to hop all over Lance Lynn. This is just one of those Wednesday games where they're like, yeah, it's the Dodgers over the Marlins. Let's take the Dodgers. Kind of thought that last night myself, and the Marlins able to put it on the now recently slumping Dodgers a little bit. The Dodgers kind of falling back to the pack just a hair, and I can't say they're falling back to the pack. Everyone behind them isn't doing anything special in that division. But the Dodgers just don't seem to be the dominant force here in the last week or so, as they have been since the All-Star break. So I would actually maybe lean with the Marlins here. We'll see how Chargois, JT for the Marlins can handle the bats for the Dodgers this evening. We'll go ahead and do a no play on that, but I would lean actually with the Marlins on that, to be honest. So scrolling down, Phillies now bases loaded, top of the first. That's what we like to see. Just one out for them, up 1-0. They have 3 hits there on Michael Wacha was a starting pitcher. He's been talking about pitchers with a sensational season. Michael Wacha has done very, very well, but getting lit up by the Phillies today, who look to be a very, very dangerous team as we head down the stretch. All right, Red Sox and the Rays, a 6:40 start down in Tropicana Field. The pitchers are Tyler Glasnow, I saw that earlier, and Nick Pivetta. Pivetta 9-7 overall, 4.49 ERA. Glasnow 7-5, a 3.17 ERA. Pivetta just 112 innings pitched. Glasnow 93.2. He's been injured for a decent amount of the season, but he has 120 Ks here in his 93.2 innings, so that's pretty good. Pivetta 145 Ks in his 112.1 innings. So both of these pitchers bring it with the strikeouts and having success doing so. Yeah, man, I mean, it all kind of leads you to think that this is going to be some sort of an underplay, but I would not trust that, really. The offenses did end up exploding a little bit last night. They got 11 runs. Probably could have had more. The Rays, a -172 favorite. That might be a little too much against the Red Sox team, who's been good and feisty. But over-under is 8, and you're getting a flat number on the over 8 for the Red Sox and Rays. And if you really just want to juice that up, you're going to get paid extraordinarily nicely if they can rack up some runs down there at the Trop. Let's see what we got for an alternate total line. If we do that, over 11.5 is plus 360. If they can get to 11 like they did last night, that is at plus 250. If you really want to jack it up to over 12.5, plus 470, over 13.5. I mean, these teams are capable. You're getting nearly 7-1 odds on that. So I would not rule it out, to be honest. Both these pitchers haven't or have have had to sit out time. So it's not like they've been in here the whole time. And maybe that's good for their arms. They'll be a little bit fresher than the Max Scherzers of the world who tend to wear out at this time of the year, et cetera. Speaking of Scherzer, he'll go tonight. We'll talk about that in a second. Logan Gilbert with the Mariners against Richardson with the Reds, -172 for the Mariners. Over under there is 9.5. Let's get the weather for we were in the rain delay in Cleveland for a little bit. So let's see if any of that's going to threaten the Cincinnati game. It looks like sunny skies, 88 for the game. Great American ballpark. Got a little voice in my ear. Sorry. 12-5 for Logan Gilbert, 3.56 ERA, 161 innings pitched for him. Lyon Richardson, the right-hander for the Reds, 0-1, 6.75 ERA, just 12 innings pitched. He has given up 3 home runs in those 12 innings. Gilbert, 23 home runs in the 161 innings for him. Gilbert started off kind of rough, but he's kind of righted the ship. And this is a bad road trip for the Mariners right now, as they've been struggling here on the road. So they're going to want to take advantage of this pitcher Richardson. They tried to take advantage of the kid making the major league debut last night. They were able to rack up some runs, but clutch hitting by the Reds, a 3-run home run late, and then they go ahead and win it in extra innings. Ellie De La Cruz, as he crossed home plate with an emphatic smile on the dive. Great highlight there for the Reds. They win 7-6. I kind of stubbed my toe on that one just a hair. I was kind of teetering between 12.5 and 13.5 because 12.5 was paying plus 255. I went for the 13.5, and they ended up right on 13. So I was hoping they'd get to extra innings, which they did, and then they both score and get us there. In fact, I was in the same boat with the Rays and the Red Sox on that accord. 5-5 for them, and they ended up actually they went further than that, right? Yeah, it ended up 6-5 for the Red Sox, and then 8-6. They got 14 runs. That's right. And I needed the Rays -2.5 as well. I mean, we were just a hair off everywhere from a huge night. But we'll see if Logan Gilbert and the Padres or then the Mariners can take advantage of the young pitcher for the Reds tonight. And I would expect them to do so. Now they've been kind of flailing a little bit. Now they were the division leaders. Now Houston is the division leader there. So they're gonna hope that Texas can take out Houston, and then if they beat the Reds, then they'll be right back there in first place tonight. So all of that is on the line in a big night in the AL Central. AL West is what I should say. So I will lean actually Mariners to get the job done. They're a good team. I'm not going to expect them to completely fall apart like the Rangers have, but who knows? That's what baseball is. That's what baseball does. And that thing can definitely happen. But good weather, decent weather anyway in the forecast. So I think we'll be in the clear for all of that. All right, bottom of the 8th now. Cubs 8, Giants 2, end of third. Blue Jays 1, Athletics 0, Rockies 4, Diamondbacks 1. The Padres get out of a jam here. Phillies held to the 1-run, 1-0 for them, and the Guardians Twins 2-1 there in the middle of the 8th. And of course, the one final we do have, Pirates over Brewers 5-4. All right, next game on the card here. Mets and Nationals. The Mets are kind of turning on a little bit here. Buto is the pitcher against Adon for the Nationals. The Nationals have gone into, you started hearing about all kinds of little hype for the Nationals. Oh, they're a nice little feisty team. They're getting to be a lot better, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But ever since then, they've really gone into the tank. I think 6 losses in a row now for the Nats. They are plus 106 at home. The Mets are minus 124. Over under is 10.5. 87 degrees, a warm night there in the nation's capital, downtown. Buto is 0-2, 3.0 ERA for Jose Buto, just 14.2 innings pitched. Jan Adon, the righty for the Nationals, just 29 innings pitched for him. 2-1, 5.90 ERA. We'll trust the Mets bats here. They've kind of heated up a little bit, and the Nats have gone cold, but I would expect this to be another high-scoring game, kind of like it was last night. The Mets came right out of the gate and took command of that game. I could see the same type of thing. They're going to put emphasis on it. The Mets are still not eliminated at 10 games under 500, 64 and 74 on the year. They have kind of started to make a hair of a surge. They just need to kind of keep winning and hope the teams in front of them can kind of fall apart enough to where they can somehow catch the last wild card. So they sit 7.5 games out of all of that. Now, the Cubs winning today isn't going to help that cause. But the Giants are losing. So that helps for sure. All right. So Mets and over there with Buto and Adon. Next game on the list. I think Nephew Dave's about ready to join us here in a few minutes. And so let me get Nephew Dave squared away here. All right. Next game on the list. Tigers and the Yankees. Yankees were good ones for us last night. 80 degrees, cloudy, mostly cloudy skies in the Bronx as the Yankees are minus 170 over under with a 9 here. We'll do a no play. We liked Yankees and under last night, and that's what happened, 5-1. So we were in a clear with that. But we have Clark Schmidt, who 8-8, 4.56 ERA, 134 innings pitched for Schmidt. So not too bad. 142 hits in that span, 133 Ks to 38 walks. So that's not terrible at all. Matt Manning is the pitcher for the Tigers, 5-4, 3.62 ERA. So not too bad. This could have been a guy someone could have tried to scoop up at the trade deadline. But Matt Manning, not too bad for the Tigers here. With the Yankees lineup, they can fall asleep at any time. Considering they are red hot, we'll just go ahead and call this a no play. But I could see this being another kind of underish type of game. I mean, 9 runs is kind of a lot to get to for these two offenses, and the pitchers aren't the worst either. So maybe a lean on the under again. But I think we'll go ahead and pass on this one for tonight. Let's see. What else do we have? Cardinals and Braves. 4 more games. We'll go right through them. 86 degrees, cloudy skies down there at Truist Park for the Braves and the Cardinals. Let's see, pulling up. Oh, yeah, Dakota Hudson has been nice. He's been okay for the Cardinals. 5-1, 4.02 ERA, 56 innings pitched since he's come off the injured list. Just 52 hits, 33 Ks, 21 walks. You'd like to see a better strikeout to walk ratio for Dakota Hudson. But he'll try to follow up a phenomenal performance by the Cardinals last night, getting the win down there in Atlanta. Spencer Strider, Cy Young favorite right now. That's an interesting race coming down to the end, too, with Steele, Strider. You can throw Zach Gallen in that mix. And then also Blake Snell for the Padres. You probably have to give Strider the heads up on that. He has 245 strikeouts and 159.1 innings, 16-4 overall for Strider on the year. Just 49 Ks to those, or 49 walks to those 245 Ks. The long ball has bit him a hair, 19 home runs. But we'll see if the mustache and Spencer Strider can get the Braves going back in the right direction. But they'll have their hands full a little bit with Dakota Hudson for sure. But maybe the Braves are able to pounce on that as well. Minus 335 favorite. So you're not going to get the best price in the world if you want to take the Braves. Over-under is 9.5. I would say that's maybe a hair too high. I would kind of lean to the under on this, knowing that Hudson has been decent. Strider's trying to get this Cy Young thing. So a slight lean there. So if you want a couple underplays for tonight, then maybe the Yankees and the Braves both going under there. White Sox with Touki Toussaint, our favorite name to say, against the Kansas City Royals, and Lyles, the pitcher, who's been not very good at all for the Kansas City Royals. Again, this is the game we said last night. Let's run for the hills. Two decent pitchers who should be better. And yeah, lo and behold, 13 runs given up in the White Sox and Royals game. The White Sox were out to a 7-0 lead. 7-0. And they went ahead and blew that. 6-0 lead, and they went ahead and blew that. We'll see if they can do the same thing tonight, get some more runs up on the board. Both of these pitchers should be able to actually kind of give that up. You would think. Toussaint hasn't been anything great. 2-7 for him, 4.87 ERA, 64.2 innings pitched, 50 hits. Jordan Lyles, righty versus righty here, but Jordan Lyles, 4-15 overall, 6.29 ERA, 150.1 innings pitched, 150 hits for him, just 104 strikeouts to 40 walks, 34 home runs given up by Jordan Lyles. So he's been a gas can. And, again, I mean, you would think an over, I guess, but why do you want to even do that in this game? Both of these offenses can be pathetic for sure. Let's see. The White Sox lineup against Jordan Lyles is not even that good, to be honest. There's a lot of sub 250 batting averages. I can't say that. There's 273, 267, 167, 200. A couple players do decent. Sheets and Moncada have done okay against them. No one has any career at bat against Touki Toussaint for the Royals. So we'll go ahead and just run for the hills again on this one. All right, 2 games left. Let's go ahead and bang these out, and then we'll get Nephew Dave on here. Texas Rangers and Astros. 134 the favorite for Max Scherzer. He's against Justin Verlander. Now, both of these pitchers were with the Mets. They both got traded out to these various teams. Interesting enough with the fire sale, just leave it to the Mets to get rid of their best two pitchers and then somehow start competing late for a wild card push. That's just a very Mets-like thing for them to do. But Scherzer and the Rangers, minus 134 for Scherzer. Over-under is 8.5. Verlander is plus 116 here. Now, I will say that Verlander has been a little bit more volatile. And I think that Scherzer missing some time at the beginning of the season definitely helps his arm out this time of the year. He's known to kind of go into the tank, lose some games down the stretch, that quote-unquote tired arm, you can call it. But he's been decent here in recent games. So we haven't seen that side of Scherzer yet. So I would kind of lean with the Rangers on this one. But their offense has been completely struggling. They are a very, very bad team since the All-Star break. I think they've only won about 25% of their games since the All-Star break. So if you're talking about a team who's taken a complete nosedive from where they were at in the standings, then that is definitely the Texas Rangers. At the end of the day, it's going to be a no play here. But I would lean a little bit with the Rangers if you have to have something here. Verlander, he's just not striking out guys like he used to. Guys are making a little bit more contact on him, getting some runs on him early, etc. So good game tonight down there in Texas. All right, last game on the board. Kyle Gibson for the Orioles against Pablo Sandoval for the Angels. Minus 142 for the O's. Over under is 8.5. Now, Gibson has been a decent pitcher for the Orioles until August. and now his ERA is about 8 runs here in August. In fact, he got lit up last week against the White Sox. So if you're getting lit up by the White Sox, that tells me that there is definitely a problem with your pitching, as the White Sox have a ridiculously terrible offense. But the Orioles here, just at 8.5 sounds like a cheap number. Now, no Ohtani tonight either. And how about the Angels? I mean, they're going to let Ohtani hit. They're not even in it. He needs Tommy John surgery, but would you just let him go ahead and get the surgery and get ahead of the game here 6 weeks for his comeback? I mean, why make this guy kind of go through the motions through the end of the season where there's nothing really left to accomplish? And, what kind of setback can that provide in the future? Now, I asked Dave Grande what he thought the numerical impact would be of Ohtani. I mean, he was looking at anywhere from like $600 million to he was looking at anywhere from $600 million to whatever he's going to get. But now that the injury is with him, I mean, now people are talking 400, 300. Though Grande seems to think that he will still get paid pretty good just for the hitting sake alone. Does he come back and be a closer? Who knows? But I would lean towards the over here tonight with the O's and the Angels. Let's see if we can get a good price here. And these two teams managed to get over last night. It was a low-scoring game until they managed to kind of give each other runs back and forth late. Took it to extra innings where the Orioles were able to finally get the W. But alternate total runs there for the O's. Let's see here. 10.5 is plus 176, 11.5 plus 255, plus 330 for over 12.5. But what can Ohtani, without him being in a lineup, what can they really accomplish here? Trying to get some runs. They're just going to have to hope Kyle Gibson has been the bum that he has been for the last month. So we'll kind of lean with an over here, but we're not completely convinced either. I mean, this is the kind of game where the Orioles could skunk them to like 8-0, something like that, right? Maybe Gibson gives them 3 or 4 good innings and they get it to the pin or whatever. Okay, so looking back at the slate one last time, and we'll go through the scores one last time here as well, and then we'll take a quick break and we'll get Nephew Dave piped in here, and we'll go through this NFC stuff. 2-1 Guardians and Twins right now, bottom of the 8th. Actually, they're going to move to the top of the 9th. Final now in Wrigley, 8-2 winners for the Cubs. The Blue Jays hanging on 1-0 over the Athletics. Rockies 5-1, bottom of the 3rd against the D-backs. Phillies 1-0 over the Padres. And the Pirates winners 5-4 over the Brewers. All right. All leans, I would say. Nothing really strong opinion-wise, but I would lean Marlins over the Dodgers, fading Lance Lynn. Even though you have 2 good pitchers and the Rays and Red Sox, don't be surprised if they would go over 8 runs there. I like Logan Gilbert tonight at the Reds, but again, the Mariners have been struggling, so it's hard to really get behind him. I mean, is the best bet the Mets over the Nats? I mean, it might be. They're just minus 124 straight, and you're going to get a big number if you do minus 2.5 over 10.5 or whatever. In fact, let's see what that pays. So the Mets, well, minus 2.5 over 8.5 is plus 260. That's not the worst. Decent pay there. In fact, they want you to climb all the way to 11.5 runs. I don't think I'm willing to do that, but I would go ahead and look at minus 2.5 over 8.5 with the Mets. Knowing that the Nationals have kind of gone into the tank here lately and the Mets are kind of surging, this appears to be the one major mismatch of the evening. Yankees and Tigers will pass on, but lean under. Braves, Cardinals pass, but lean under. White Sox, Royals running for the hills. We'll lean slightly with the Rangers, but we want no piece of that. Good matchup, Scherzer and Verlander, ex-Mets. And we'll slight lean over with the Orioles and the Angels. Okay, we'll go ahead and take a break. We'll get Nephew Dave piped in here, And then we're going to go ahead and break down these NFC schedules. We'll see what we can figure out with the over-unders and see if we can come up with a nice window to get paid very good plus money. All right, this is the Round Robin. I'm Stephen Murray from the Chicks Beach Studios here on the Deep End Broadcasting Network. We will be back right after this. Family owned and operated, CP Shuckers Cafe and Raw Bar specializes in delicious cuisine, refreshing drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. We opened our doors in 1995 and have enjoyed being a place to either relax or celebrate ever since. Whether you are in the mood to indulge in a great meal with your friends and family or watch the game, we promise that our inventive menu, attentive service, and skilled bartenders will have you truly satisfied. Both of our locations have spacious outdoor patios for enjoying the breeze and catching a little sun. Our friendly staff at CP Shuckers will make your next dining experience a pleasant one by delivering personal care. We are open until 2 a.m. Full menu will be served until 10 p.m. and late night limited menu until 1 a.m. For larger parties, please give the location of choice a call. Pacific Avenue, 757-425-8676 or Shore Drive, 757-412-2929. More information at cpshuckers.com. Thank you for your continued support and have a shuckin' good time.
Hey, does your home have algae or stains on the siding? Is there grime built up on your deck or brick patio? Coastal Pressure Washing Services has a warranty of professional services. From pressure washing to window cleaning to deck and fence staining, as well as dryer vent cleaning, you got it all. Call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net. Again, call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net.
Dependable Solutions can provide all voiceover services for your advanced audio production needs. Think of us as an inexpensive option, no matter what the size of the project is. From one-word cameos to full script productions, contact Dependable Solutions at 757-354-5517. Do you want to advertise with Deep End Broadcasting? Send us an email at deepend757@yahoo.com. That's deepend757@yahoo.com.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
It is estimated that 23% of car accidents each year involve a cell phone. That's 1.3 million accidents a year. Reaching for your phone, you are 4 times more likely to crash. Dialing on your phone, 2.8 times more likely to crash. And texting on your phone, you are 23 times more likely to crash. Attentive drivers are safe drivers.
Know your gambling limits. Don't ever bet what you can't cover. Wagering on sports is only fun when you do it the right way. Not every bet will win. When you get on a bad run, know it and avoid trouble. Know your gambling limits.
Control your alcohol. Don't fight. Don't drink and drive. Your one punch could kill someone. It happens. If you're behind the wheel, you may think you are fine, but then the other driver is under the influence of texting, and then you are done. Control your alcohol.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
Nick Bosa signs a massive deal. We forgot to mention that. So the 49ers, with all their questions about their star defensive player, have been answered as they will get him into the lineup, probably, I would say, for Sunday's game in Pittsburgh. All right, Nephew Dave pops in with us now. Nephew Dave, what's going on, man?
Good afternoon.
From his mobile studio in the lovely Ocean View, Virginia, USA. You got anything on baseball? Do you like any plays before I put that puppy to bed for the rest of the day?
Let me double back here real quick, take a quick look.
And what me and Nephew Dave will do here is we'll go ahead and go down the NFC schedules and see if we can find a nice window of plus money on the over-unders, as we did with the AFC on last Wednesday. And if you want to go back and get all that very knowledgeable information, you can go back to the archives on deepend757.com. Click on the archives recent shows at the top, and there you are. You'll see the list. What do you got, Dave?
Let's go with the O's for the sweep. I like the Mariners all over the Reds for sure.
I said that. The Mariners worry me a little bit, but yes, I do like that.
Yeah, I think they can get it done. And whatever you want to do with the Braves hosting the Cardinals.
Right. What's wrong with Kyle Gibson here? What's happened to him in the last month or so with the Orioles?
Yeah, Steve, it's hard to say here at this point. I'd have to do a little bit more research on that, but yeah, we're not too sure. We'll see what
he's been getting bombed out. That's
that's trying to be somewhat nice about it.
Okay, let's go again. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna look at all the over-unders for everyone in the NFC, and we're going to go down the schedules. And we're not looking to pick wins. We're looking to pick up the layup victories. And then we're going to go from there and see if we can kind of find a good window where we're going to get some plus money here and see if we can get something accomplished in your bank account with this kind of information that we're going to give to you. So I'm going to start first, Dave. I'm going to go down the Cowboys. You'll get the Eagles next. Then I'll do the Giants, and then you could do your Commanders. So week 1 at the Giants, not a layup. Week 2 versus the Jets, not a layup. At the Cardinals, I would say that's a win. Everyone's trying to talk me into New England being a better team than what I think that they're going to be. I don't know if they're going to lose that game to New England. I'll kind of give them a layup win there. So I got 2 for them. At San Fran, no. At the Chargers, no. Versus the Rams, yes. So that's 3. At Philly, no. Versus the Giants, no. At Carolina, yes. So that's 4. Washington, no. That's a rivalry game. Seattle, no. Philly, no. Buffalo, Miami, no. Detroit, no. Washington, no. So I got 4 layups for the Cowboys. All right, so we have 13 games left. Let's just say that they split those. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. 7-6. So that would make them an 11-win team, which probably sounds about right to me. I think they're a 10 to 11-win team for sure. So let's see what we got with that. So the Cowboys. NFL futures.
They might lose every game by 24 points, Steve. You never can.
Yeah. As mentioned last week, for sure. Plenty of times. Why are the over-unders off the board? All right, let's see if we can. Yeah, all right, here we go. Let's get to more NFL. Here we go. This is what I wanted to find. All right, win totals for Dallas. I say they're going to win 11 games. That's with the 4 layups. Figure they go 7-6 after that. So their over-under is 9.5. All right, so I guess my window is going to be right there, 10 to 12. I think they're an over team, 9.5. Minus 162 is your juice if you think they get to 10 wins. But we're going to do it this way. This is the perfect example. Why are you going to risk 162 to win 100 when you can do it this way? And with Dallas, on their exact wins, to win exactly 10 games is plus 550, 11 games is plus 550, and to win 12 games plus 650. So you're going to get at least a plus 350 payout on 10 or 11 games and plus 450 on 12. Do you see the Cowboys that right there, Dave?
Yeah,
realistically,
Steve,
10 to 12.
Yeah, realistically, I think that's probably a smart play. You could go 10 or 11. Yeah, it really could be either or. You expect them to.
Maybe you lowball it from 12 too, because I don't think they get 12, and you get plus 650 on the 9. So maybe 9 to 11 is the right way to go on that.
I really like the 10 and 11. I think.
Okay,
I think that's funny.
All right, so a little bit narrower window there, and so you can bet 10 and an 11. Then you're going to get paid plus 450 if they can hit right on 10 or 11. All right,
and
Dave,
I'm okay with that.
What do you have for the Eagles?
All right, for the Eagles, we start off with the Patriots. Sorry, Steve, I'm going to have to say yes for that one. Vikings, probably not. Buccaneers, yes. Rams, yes. So that's 3. Jets, no. With the Dolphins, no. Cowboys, no. That's rivalry. Chiefs, no. Bills, no. Then they got the 49ers. I would say no there as well. Cowboys again, no. Seahawks, I don't think that's a layup. I think they probably do win that game, but I wouldn't call it a layup. Giants, no. Cardinals, certainly, and Giants, no. So I believe that's what, 4? 4
Okay.
layup?
Yep.
Which is probably going to be right around what we just talked about with the Cowboys. Now, I think the Eagles probably could win 12, so whatever the number is for that, I think I would definitely give some thought to.
Okay, so their over-under is 11.5. Over is at plus 104. So what's the window you're trying to hit?
I guess we're going to go, 12 to 13.
All right.
And throw 14 in there just to see what it is as well.
Okay. Eagles to win exactly 12 is plus 550. 13 is plus 600. And to win 14 is at plus 750. All right. So the worst you're going to get paid out there is plus 350 or as high as plus 550 if you think the Eagles can sky over that total.
I like the 13.
I want to see it from them a little bit more, Dave.
Me.
They were really good last year, but why do I think they're just going to win 10 games somehow? I don't know. They'll prove me wrong, I guess. They were my preseason pick to win the NFC last year. All the guys at the pool wholesale supplier jumped on that. I didn't. So I won them money, but I didn't win myself anything. And I'm reluctant to take them this year to do that. All right. Let me do the Giants schedule. Let's see what we have for layups here. For the New York Football Giants, they will host Dallas, not a layup. At Arizona, yes. At San Fran, Versus Seattle, no. At Miami, no. At Buffalo, no. Versus Washington, no. Versus the Jets, no. At the Raiders, I would have to give it a no. At Dallas, no. At Washington, no. Versus New England, later in the season, maybe New England's better by then, too. So that's week 12, so that would concern me. So I'm going to stick with the one layup for them. At versus Green Bay, at New Orleans, tricky game. At Philly, tricky game. Versus the Rams at home, yes. Versus Philly, no. So I only have 2 wins that are layups for the Giants. All the more reason why I like them in Survivor Pool week 2 at the Cardinals, because I can just use them up, keep some good teams in the bank, and hopefully move forward with the Giants' victory. So if they only have 2 wins out of the 17, and there's 15 games left, I mean, I'm going to put them right at an 8 or 9 win team, or maybe even 7, to be honest, Dave. So let's see what we have for that. Regular season win totals for the Giants. Nope, they scrolled. We scrolled off of that, Dave, and sent me to another page. All right, so let's go here. The Giants' regular season over-under wins is 7.5. That's kind of what I was thinking. Wow. So 7, 8, or 9, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be plus 450, 550, 650, something like that. for the Giants. I'll pull it up to make it official. 7, 8, or 9 wins for them is going to be exactly kind of what I thought, maybe a little bit better. So plus 600, plus 600, plus 650. So plus 400 on your minimum right there. So I think that's your range. Do you lowball the Giants, Dave, to 6 wins maybe?
Steve, I was thinking 8.
Okay.
That's my number. I think 8 is probably pretty fair.
So that's right in the middle of my window of 7 to 9. So 8 games is plus 600. Okay. What do you got for the Commanders?
All right. For the Commanders, we have the Cardinals. Yes. The Broncos, I think so. So that's 2. The Bills, no. Then they get the Eagles, no. And then they get the Bears, Steve. While I think they win this game, I don't think that's a layup. I think that game actually ends up probably being closer than we might think. Falcons, probably not. I think they're going to be a little bit improved as well. Giants and Eagles, those are rivalries, so no. Versus the Patriots, no, I think that game is also probably closer than we might think. Versus Seahawks, no. Giants, no. Cowboys, no. Dolphins, no. The Rams, yes. Then they have the Jets, 49ers, and Cowboys, and I think that's all a no. So what's that? I think that's 3 layups, really. That's a little tough schedule.
All right. Yeah, tough schedule for them. So what do you want to give them? Obviously, the ceiling's high for them, or can be high. So this is maybe one of the more harder ones to pick, right? Would you say? I would do this, Dave, so. Maybe just straight over 6.5 wins at plus 100.
Yeah, I think that's in play. But if we had to go by the way of, how we're doing it, I would take a look at the number 9.
Okay, so 9 wins for the Giants. I'm sorry, for the Commanders. Sorry to insult your team that way. David, plus 900. That's a good number. Maybe that's what you do. You kind of take a gamble that they're going to be better than advertised. 8, 9, and 10 wins is plus 700, plus 900, plus 1,400. So if you take all 3 of those, hoping to get to the 8 or 9 mark, you're really going to get paid nicely. Even 7 you can throw in there, because at the end of the day, you'll still get paid plus 250, which is going to be better than plus 100. And we don't expect them to go past 10. And you could get paid as much as plus 1,100 if they get to 10 games after your losses. So that is actually a nice little money window there for the Commanders for sure. All right, let's go to the next division. We'll start in the North. I'll do the Packers first. Why don't you get the Bears next? And then I'll do Lions, and you can do Vikings. So I'll do Packers first. This is going to be hard, to be honest. At Chicago, no, I don't know. At Atlanta, I don't know. Versus the Saints, I don't know. Detroit, I don't know. Vegas, I don't know. Denver, I don't know. The Rams, I'll give them 1. The Vikings, I don't know. Pittsburgh, I don't know. Chargers, yeah. Detroit, Kansas City, at the Giants. Tampa, I'll give them a yes. At Carolina, I'll give them a yes, just to be nice. At Minnesota versus Chicago. So 3 is the number of layups for the Packers. What do they get for fluff there? That's an interesting question. This is they have beatable opponents, but how good are these other teams going to be? This is really one of the harder ones that we've looked at. The over-under for Green Bay.
I think you could give them 8 as well.
8 wins?
Yep.
So over 7.5 is minus 150. So if you do exact wins for Green Bay, I think 8 sounds fair. So what's our window? Is it 8 to 10? Is it 7 to 9?
It's 7 to 9, I believe. Just because we really don't know.
We just don't know. 7 wins plus 600, 8 wins plus 600, 9 wins plus 600. How about that?
I'm okay with all that.
Yeah. You can get plus 400 there on the Packers to have 7, 8, or 9 wins. And, that's not getting over the total either. That's giving one play to the under if they were to do that on their schedule. Okay, go ahead and hit your whoever I told you to do. I can't remember.
All right, we got the Bears.
Yep.
Versus the Packers, no. Versus the Bucks, no. Chiefs,
yeah, it's gonna be another hard one here.
It really is. Chiefs, no. The Broncos, I'm gonna give them the Broncos. Just because something's telling me to do that. Vikings again, no. Raiders, no. Chargers, no. Saints, Panthers, Lions, no. I think the Panthers might be a little bit better than people think, and that's why I say that. Then they have the Browns, no. Cardinals, yes, I'll give them the Cardinals. Falcons, no. And the Packers again, no. So
Okay.
there we are in that 3 again.
All right.
I don't even think I gave them 3.
Yep, you gave them 3. So where do you think they end up? Same thing? 6, 7, 8, 9?
I think that's fair. Yeah, let's do 6, 7 to 8. I think is the window.
All right. So the window, and again, if you're just joining us, we're going through all the NFC schedules. We're not picking absolute winners and losers in the schedule, but we are looking for what we would think would be a layup victory, and then from there you can kind of add some fluff in and see if you can get a nice payout window, paying better juice than you would just the flat over under number, if that makes sense. So 7 to 9, Dave, is that what we said?
6 to 8, I think.
6 to 8 for the Bears. Okay. 6 wins is plus 650. 7 wins is plus 600. 8 wins is plus 550. So plus 350 is your minimum payout if you go Bears 6 to 8 wins. I think that's a strong window. Yeah, that's makes a lot of sense there. I think you'll see a lot of mediocrity in this division, except for the Lions, to be honest.
The Lions should win that division.
I think that the more I've been looking at it, the more I like them. And we're going to do them right now. So let's see the schedule for the Detroit Lions. Oh, look at that. I already have it up. Okay. Kansas City, hard game. Seattle, hard game versus Atlanta. I think they win that. At Green Bay, hard game versus Carolina. I think they win that. At Tampa Bay, they win that. At Baltimore, unsure. Versus Vegas at home, I think they win that. Chargers, unsure. Against the Bears, I would say yes, 5. Versus Green Bay at home, they'll split with Green Bay at least, so 6. At the Saints, I think they win that, 7. At the Bears, we'll give them a split. Versus Denver, 8. Versus Vikings, we'll give them a split, 9. At Cowboys, harder, and versus Vikings again. So we have at least 9 kind of layups, easier schedule for Detroit. So let's go ahead and give them 2 or 3 more wins here. I'm going to say 11 or 12 wins for the Lions. I could see 12 wins for the Lions just because no one's, when's the last time they've done that? I mean, I don't know if they've ever done that, to be honest. So we'll hit our window of what's the number you're thinking of, Dave?
Let's do 11 to 13.
Okay, plus 600, plus 700, and plus 1,000. So all good numbers there on the Lions to win 11, 12, or 13 games. You'll get plus 400 all the way up to plus 800. And their win total for the season is at over 9.5. So we think they're an over team at minus 122. I like that straight up for sure. But I like that window even better with the big payout. All right, what do you got on the Vikings?
All right, so we got the Buccaneers first up. I'd say yes. Eagles, no. Chargers, no. Panthers, yeah, I'll give them the Panthers. Chiefs, no. Bears, no. 49ers, no. Packers, no. Falcons, no. Saints, no. Broncos, yes. Bears, no. Raiders, yes. Bengals and the Lions, no. Packers and the Lions again, no.
All right, so what do we got?
Let's see. I think that was 5. So let's give them a window of, I want to say 8 to 10.
8.5. All right. 8.5 is our over-under. And then that's minus 122. If we go 8 to 10, then we have plus 600, plus 600, plus 650. All right. So minimum of plus 400 for the Vikings, 8 to 10 wins. I think that sounds right, Dave.
I could get behind that.
I can get behind that too. Okay. Next division. This is going to be hard as well. All right. I'll start with the Saints and want you to queue up the Falcons.
All right.
Let's see here. The Saints schedule, which I think is very navigable, to be honest. Versus Tennessee, interesting game. At Carolina, let's just figure they split with them. At Green Bay, hard game for them probably. Versus Tampa, they could sweep that. So I'll give them a win there, two wins. At New England, tougher game. At Houston, I'll give it to them, I guess. Versus Jacksonville, no. At Colts, 4. Versus Bears, we just don't know what the Bears are. At Vikings, harder. We'll split them with the Falcons, so that's 5. Detroit, no. Giants, no. Rams, yes, 6. And Tampa and Atlanta, again, we've already split. So 6 for the Saints. I'll go ahead and give them a couple extra wins for sure. 8 or 9 or 10. Man, I just don't see the Saints as a 10-win team at the end of the day. So maybe 8 or 9 is my number. What are you thinking, Dave?
Yeah, probably 7 to 9.
It's hard for me to say 10 wins for the Saints. It just really, really is.
It is. So you got to kind of hit that sweet spot.
You got to hit that sweet spot. So we'll say 7 to 9. I think I like that better. They are over under 9.5 wins. So that would be an under team for us at minus 140. So if you want to avoid the minus 140, the Saints, let's see here. Show less of the Vikings. All right, 7 wins is plus 700, plus 650, plus 650 for 8 and 9. So plus 450 is your minimum. Could get plus 500 if they get to 7. All right, so fair window for that one. What you got for Atlanta?
All right, Steve, I'm going to save us a little bit of time on this one. I went ahead and looked through this, and I think the layup that they have is versus the Colts.
Okay.
And the Cardinals. So I give them 2.
Okay.
So, I mean, you got teams. You figure they split with the Buccaneers. I think they're definitely better than the Buccaneers, but you know how that division stuff goes. They probably got a split. So give them 3. But, I mean, they got teams like, the Titans, the Lions, and, the Jets, Bears, Saints. I mean, it's just hard to say.
High expectations for Arthur Smith and the Falcons as well. 8.5 is the win total for them, minus 132. I'm going to have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, well, they have the Texans in there too. So let's give them 4 with a window of 7 to 9.
Okay, so barely creeping over if they can get to that 7 to 9, or if they get to that 9 number. 7 or 8 will keep them as an under team for the season. 7 is plus 700, 8 plus 650, and 9 is plus 600. So that's that. All right, I'll do Tampa. I think there's better plays on the board than trying to guess the Falcons win total. I think for sure.
For sure.
Let's see here. I'll go Tampa Bay, and then you can take whoever we're missing out of that division. We're missing someone. Who are we missing?
Carolina, I think.
All right, yeah, you got Carolina next. Okay. Tampa Bay, layups for them. I don't think they have any layups. Not even at the Colts is a layup. So I'll give them 0. As their schedule is actually kind of hard. Oh, man. But something tells me they could be better than what people think, too. just because of the veteran presence. And everyone hates Baker Mayfield, but I feel like he played with a decent chip on his shoulder last year, and actually did some good things on the football field as the quarterback. And if he plays angry, then who knows? But I mean, the Bucs are bound to come out and flail around like everyone else says that they will anyway. So win total for them is going to be pretty low. Whatever it is. Let's see. 6.5 plus 116. So they're actually getting a lot of credit to get to that. I don't know, Dave. I would say that their window is 5 to 7.
Yeah, yep. Perfect.
Knowing that maybe it could even be a little bit better. So maybe we want to even throw 8 wins in there too. Let's see what we get, because 8 wins, the higher you go, the more of a payout you're going to get with Tampa Bay for sure. Let's see here. Tampa Bay. All right, 6 wins is plus 550, 7 is plus 600, 8 is plus 750, 9 is plus 1,000, 5 is plus 500. You know what? I just think better plays on the board at the end of the day. I wouldn't mess with this one at all. What do you got for Carolina?
We're probably going to end up saying the same thing here. From what I'm seeing, let's give them 2 layups with the split versus the Buccaneers. And really, Steve, that's about it. So you're talking, I think 7 to 9 is the window for them too.
Okay, so the win total for
7
Carolina
or 8 being very considerable.
is 7.5 plus 100. So a slight lean on a play with the under. A couple of the plays would go over. Man, I kind of like the 6 to 8 range a little better. That's just me, though. Like you said, you think they're going to be a little bit better than what people have advertised, and they were a playoff contender last year. So it's kind of hard to take that away from them, even with the rookie quarterback. But all the numbers right here at 5 games is plus 650, 6 plus 600, 7 plus 600, 8 plus 600, 9 plus 700. So it's going to be somewhere in there between 5 and 9, I think. I just think it's too much to dabble with. It's not enough payouts. So I would avoid this Carolina one, to be honest, as well. I think we learned this, Dave. Let's stay away from this division.
Oh, very far away from this division.
So we're actually seeing some stuff we like with most every team. The NFC South seems to be a lot harder. Okay, San Fran. I'll do that. You do Seattle, and then we'll pick the bottom feeders, which I don't even think, the only layups those 2 teams are going to have are against each other, maybe. So a split. So we're talking about the Rams and Cardinals really having less than 5 wins. We'll just go over those numbers. We only have to go through the schedule. Trust me, the schedules are hard. So with the 49ers, layup games. At Pittsburgh, no. In fact, I think we did this extra. Did we do this? I think I did this with Del Grande. The Rams, yes. Giants, no. Cardinals, yes. 2. Dallas, no. At Cleveland, harder game. At Minnesota versus Bengals, hard game. Jacksonville, hard game. Versus Tampa, 3. At Seattle, hard game. We'll just say they split, so we'll give them 4. At Philly, Seattle again. Arizona's 5. Baltimore, harder game. At Washington, makes that difficult. Cross country on New Year's Eve. And the Rams, last game, 6. So 6 wins for them. Over, under, we got to throw in some fluff. So 9 or 10, right? Or 11. 9 to 11. Is that the window for the Niners? Knowing that Purdy, maybe he just has some regression as well. The over-under for the 49ers, they got a tough schedule. They're not going to – it's going to be hard for them to duplicate what they did last season. And they're going to have to stay healthy as well to advance that far. And ultimately, their quarterbacks were all hurt when they got – by the time they ended that NFC championship game. So they in actuality, did not end the season healthy. So win totals for the 49ers are, let's see here. It's going to be higher than what we're saying. 10.5 at minus 162. And Dave, I could see them being an under team at plus 132. straight up. But I'll give them a window here of 9 to 12. I'm going to have to spread this out a little bit more. What exact wins are you thinking?
I was thinking somewhere from 9 to 11, with 10 or 11 being my serious consideration.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think 10 seems to be the right number for me, almost exactly. Just because if they have a little bit of a regression, 10 sounds like the right number there. So 10 is plus 600, 11 is plus 500, 9 is plus 700, 12 is plus 550. So a little bit harder one with the 49ers too, knowing that their schedule is a little difficult and the questions there at quarterback as well. All right, what do you have for Seattle?
All right, Seattle, we have the Rams. We'll give them that one for sure. The Lions, no. Panthers, yes. Giants, yes. Bengals, no. Cardinals, yes. The Browns, no. The Ravens, no. Then they have the Niners and the Cowboys, no. Niners again, no. Eagles, Titans, Steelers, no. And then they end it with the Cardinals. So I could see, with that being, 4 or 5, I think their window probably 9 to 11.
And I could actually win them the division as well. In fact, I want to look at that price. We'll look at it in a minute. But over 8.5 is minus 142. Exact wins for the Seahawks. I think health is going to be the big determiner too. I mean, there is no backup quarterback for Seattle, so Geno must stay healthy through all this for the Seahawks to achieve. And they're going to hope the 49ers take a few more knocks than what they have. But man, they are so deep in their defensive positioning across the board as well. Seahawks, 7 wins is plus 700, 8 wins plus 600, 9 wins plus 550, 10 wins plus 550, 11 wins plus 650. What was your exact number, Dave, you think?
I'm thinking 10.
Yeah, I think 10 to plus 550 is the right number too. I really, really do. Okay. And we talked about the Rams and the Cardinals. Really, no, you can't give these guys any layups. Maybe against each other, a split. So maybe one. And we'll just go ahead and look at their exact. This would make them both under teams. In fact, the Rams under 6.5 is a bet I love, to be honest. Let's see, Arizona.
I like Arizona for 3. They'll get one.
Can Josh Dobbs give them plus 470 for 3 wins, plus 420 for 4? They're not even giving you big payouts here. Plus 550 for 2 wins. So, I think you just avoid all that altogether just to be safe. I like to straight play Rams under 6.5. I mean, I love that. But the Rams, what's your window for them?
Oh, 5 to 7. Being a little generous.
You're gonna give them a little bit more credit than I would. If you do plus 500, plus 500, plus 600, I think they're 3 to 5. So I would say plus 800, plus 600, plus 500 for that.
Well, I like the 5 number.
Yeah, 5 and plus 500 might be it. Division odds. And is Seattle actually even paying anything decent? Plus 200. So 2 to 1 is really the price on Seattle to win that division. 10 to 1 for the Rams, 27 to 1 there for the Cardinals. 49ers are minus 165. So if you're going to do some kind of round robin division winner parlay, I would throw the Seahawks in there. Dave, I mean, do you have any gripes about that?
No, okay. Not at all.
Division winners for sure. Seahawks, I would take a chance on. I'll pass on the South. Detroit at plus 145, I like. I'll pass on the NFC East. I'll pass on the AFC West. It's probably the Chiefs, although the Chargers, I could see them making a push. I would take the Jags at minus 155 over the Titans, Colts, or Texans. Harder division in the AFC North. Harder division in the AFC East. But I think that's a good 3-game parlay. Jaguars, Lions, Seahawks. One real main risk are the Seahawks, and that's 11-1 on that 3 division winner parlay. So, put $100 on that, people, and you might get $1,000 there at the end of the season. All right, Dave, let's take a break. We're going to go ahead and do that. We'll take 5 minutes here. We're going to regroup, and then when we come back, we're going to go through some college football. We'll save the ACC stuff for tomorrow. Maybe we'll have John Hale. I'm not sure. But, Dave, you'll fill in if we need you to pick some more ACC games, right?
I should be able to, yep.
Okay, so let's take a break. When we come back, let's take a look at the college football slate. We have some good games coming up on Saturday. We'll take a gander at them. This is the round robin. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
Hey, does your home have algae or stains on the siding? Is there grime built up on your deck or brick patio? Coastal Pressure Washing Services has a warranty of professional services. From pressure washing to window cleaning to deck and fence staining, as well as dryer vent cleaning, you got it all. Call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net. Again, call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net.
Dependable Solutions can provide all voiceover services for your advanced audio production needs. Think of us as an inexpensive option, no matter what the size of the project is. From one-word cameos to full script productions, contact Dependable Solutions at 757-354-5517. Do you want to advertise with Deep End Broadcasting? Send us an email at deepend757@yahoo.com. That's deepend757@yahoo.com.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
It is estimated that 23% of car accidents each year involve a cell phone. That's 1.3 million accidents a year. Reaching for your phone, you are 4 times more likely to crash. Dialing on your phone, 2.8 times more likely to crash. And texting on your phone, you are 23 times more likely to crash. Attentive drivers are safe drivers. Dependable Solutions can provide all voiceover services for your advanced audio production needs. Think of us as an inexpensive option, no matter what the size of the project is. From one-word cameos to full script productions, contact Dependable Solutions at 757-354-5517.
Know your gambling limits. Don't ever bet what you can't cover. Wagering on sports is only fun when you do it the right way. Not every bet will win. When you get on a bad run, know it and avoid trouble. Know your gambling limits.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
Family owned and operated, CP Shuckers Cafe and Raw Bar specializes in delicious cuisine, refreshing drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. We opened our doors in 1995 and have enjoyed being a place to either relax or celebrate ever since. Whether you are in the mood to indulge in a great meal with your friends and family or watch the game, we promise that our inventive menu, attentive service, and skilled bartenders experience will have you truly satisfied. Both of our locations have spacious outdoor patios for enjoying the breeze and catching a little sun. Our friendly staff at CP Shuckers will make your next dining experience a pleasant one by delivering personal care. We are open until 2 a.m. Full menu will be served until 10 p.m. and late night limited menu until 1 a.m. For larger parties, please give the location of choice a call. Pacific Avenue, 757-425-8676 or Shore Drive, 757-412-2929. More information at cpshuckers.com. Thank you for your continued support and have a shuckin' good time. Here we go with the injuries now with the NFL. Of course, we know about Kelsey with his knee. But how about this, Dave? The Packers have listed Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. Well, they haven't listed them as anything. Kelsey's listed as questionable for tomorrow. Watson and Doubs both held out of practice for hamstring injuries. So that's going to put a quick halt to a aggressive Packer play calling that we saw in the preseason, if that's to translate over into the regular season. No Doubs, no Watson. If we get the Ant-Man on tomorrow, we'll get his take on that, maybe. Okay. Baseball scores real quick. Let's go through those one more time. See where we're at with that. As we definitely have some scoring changes happening for sure. Again, finals in Major League Baseball today. We have 3 of them. Pirates over Brewers 5-4. Guardians over Twins 2-1. I'm going to like the Cubs over the Giants 8-2 because I had that. Minus 2.5 over 8.5. In progress, bottom of the 7th, Athletics 5, Toronto 1. I didn't play that. End of the 4th, I did play this. Diamondbacks 9, Rockies 5. So I got over 12.5 and 13.5. And at the end of 4 innings, they were there already. Also, I have Phillies minus 2.5 over 6.5. And right now, 3-0. Phillies over the Padres, bottom of the 4th. A no-hitter so far there for the Phils. 7 hits for the Phillies with those 3 runs. Okay. Man on base, though, must have been a walk with the Padres, bottom of the 4th. Actually, men now on 1st and 3rd. So they'll look to get on the scoreboard, and actually, there you go. There goes the no-hitter as they now have 1 hit. Okay, let's go through the college football games since we have a good slate coming up for the weekend. 1 game Thursday, my Murray State team is getting 40.5 at Louisville. Now, Louisville did not look super impressive last week, and we'll talk about that tomorrow with the ACC, I guess. So I'll leave that apart, but I don't care. Murray State, my boys, give them 40.5. You got to take that. Friday, 1 game, we have Kansas and Illinois. I'm going to lean Kansas State just -3 at home over Illinois. Illinois hasn't been that good of a team. Kansas, I would give them the edge there, but -3 for Kansas over Illinois on Friday night. That's a cheap number, I figure.
Oh yeah, I think you could. I think you could do 5.5 and get a little bit better out of it too.
Yeah, and take them on an alt line. You know what? They might wax Illinois, to be honest. If you want to do it that way, then you can do a win margin of 14 or more, which has been, hey man, college football. There's a lot of variance, and I picked some win margins last weekend, and they seem to really work. I mean, we laid 31 with Washington against Boise and got there on a nice big hit. But Kansas plus 330 to win by 14 or more at home against the Illini. Saturday games. Let's talk about this one. Colorado minus 2.5 at 59.5 over Nebraska. Big win at TCU. The Buffaloes look good with Deion Sanders. Dave, I wanted to go against them. I want to start betting against Colorado, just thinking that they're going to be a crappy team. They're bound to start rolling a lot of these teams, to be honest. Teams like Nebraska.
Now, I'm a little surprised that they got ranked as quickly as they did. I did not expect that. But I'll tell you what.
22 overall now. Yeah, that's a good point with their ranking. But even as a ranked team, just 2.5? Keep going.
Oh, Steve, I took because at the time I made a sleepy time parlay last night. You know, sometimes I'm known to do that right before I go to bed.
I did as well. I took them.
So, and I have them in, and right now my book would only let me go to -9, but I got plus 185 out of it. I think they roll Nebraska.
Yeah, I think they do too. They're paying 30-1 to win by I think it's 30-1. Let me pull that up here, because I played an interesting little one earlier. It was a $3 bet that wins basically $8,200. And it's Murray State plus 40.5. It is on the win margin by Colorado. Yeah, exactly, David. We're going to say it that way. The win margin by Colorado, let's see here, to win by 31 points is 30-1 odds. And I took Texas A&M and NC State. Which they both have hard games. NC State plays Notre Dame, but they are at home, and Texas A&M is at Miami. But you know what, man? If they can win those games by just 14 points, Murray State plus 40.5 and a hammer job by Colorado, then that $3 bet to win 8,200 is going to be. You know, how do you not do that for $3? Is my question, to be honest. So I'm going to look at the Buffs to blow them out as well, Dave.
Yeah.
All right, Utah and Baylor. Utah is number 12 overall. Let's see if they can continue it. Baylor had the worst loss, I think, against Texas State last week overall in the college football as far as Power 5 teams. Georgia, they'll get Ball State at home. There's Notre Dame and NC State. We'll pick that game tomorrow. That's a noon game. Troy and Kansas State should be interesting. Iowa and Iowa State. I'm not going to have a pick there. You know what? I would take Iowa minus 3.5 just because of all the gambling scandals at Iowa State. Just laying 3.5 sounds pretty cheap to me. Any thought on that?
You know what? I might even play an under on that game.
Under is 36.5 in that game, which that means it's going to go under, to be honest.
It should.
Go ahead and interrupt me at any time, Dave. I'm just going to go through the list. If there's something you like, just stop me and tell me you like it. Michigan minus 36.5 over UNLV, 58.5 there. I like Ole Miss minus 7 at Tulane. A battle of ranked teams. Mississippi, the Rebels, 20th overall. Green Wave, Tulane, 24th. Over-under is 66. So that's one of those higher over-unders that if you're getting extra possessions, maybe that can go lower, but Jackson Dart is a good quarterback, and I'm going to trust Mississippi to actually win this one. I wouldn't be afraid to actually take them on the alt line here as well. There's Texas A&M and Miami. We talked about them. Texas A&M just laying 4.5. I think that's a cheap number. Miami with a nice win over Miami of Ohio, but this is going to be a different animal with the Aggies coming into town. 51.5 is the total there. I would actually lean over in this game as well. I could see points scored in this game, mainly by Texas A&M, but I would not be shocked to see this as a 35-21 game, 35-20 or something like that, or 35-17. All those numbers get you over 51.5, and it is up from 48.5 to start. Did you have something, Dave?
Not for that particular game. Okay. Not yet.
Tulsa's at Washington. Washington's laying 34.5.
Now this one.
Do you like that?
I like this one. I think you're set up here for a margin of victory play here.
Washington to absolutely annihilate them.
Oh, I think they're gonna kill them.
Yeah. So if we look at that, let's see what kind of margin of victory we can get.
Probably
I think
close to last week. I don't think Tulsa is a very strong opponent for them.
41 points or more is only plus 170.
Yeah, if that tells you right there.
yeah.
So maybe not with that number, but
well, that you're right though. That's a sign that tells you that's kind of what I looked for last week. I was like, look, man, if this is what they're saying, it's probably going to actually kind of happen if it's going to be that cheap, and that would be the case here. Just plus 170. That's something you'd be like, yeah, that's not enough. 41 points, but like you said, they could absolutely destroy them. This was a high-scoring game last year, North Carolina and Appalachian State. This time it will be in Chapel Hill for the 17th ranked UNC Tar Heels. And they did me right last week, Dave, that's for sure, against South Carolina. Appalachian State may be down a little bit too. So I would look towards Carolina again, and then maybe another blowout 31-point victory, to be honest. 58.5 is the over-under here. Wouldn't be shocked if it goes over. Carolina could easily ring up 50 points in this game.
I like the over, absolutely. And I think that there's room to adjust it just a little bit. Now, I wouldn't get crazy, but I would move it to a plus number at least.
Yeah, I agree. So let's look at some of those. North Carolina is going to be an over team by nature because of their defense. Now, their defense played pretty decent last week. But if you think they can really, really railroad these guys, over 64.5 is plus 160. Would that be fair enough for you?
Well,
I can see 45 to 20, plus 160.
Yep. That's why I like it. Yep.
All right. And if you want to get all the way to 69, is at plus 240 on that. All right. SMU and Oklahoma, the newly ACC Mustangs of SMU against the Sooners. The Sooners just laying 17 or 16.5 and 68.5. This is a 6 p.m. game. Can the Sooners roll these guys?
I think so. I think it's definitely gonna be a tougher game than last week. Certainly. That was I feel a little bit bad for Arkansas State there, but they were absolutely outmatched. And Steve, I have Oklahoma to win by 13 to 18 points, and you get a plus 475 number. I think the spread is probably appropriate. Oklahoma could win by 2 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and I think that's exactly where it will land.
This is non-conference play, of course, but I did take Oklahoma in the Big 12, so I'll have my eyes on this as well, and hoping they can kind of keep it going here. Texas and Alabama. Texas number 11 at number 3. Alabama. The Tide laying 7. Over-under is now down to 54.5. It has crept down a couple points here in the last day or so. And a little birdie told me to lean under here. This was an under game the last time out. Do you have any thoughts on this?
So, Steve, I did take the minus 7.5. I think it could be a 10-point game, come the fourth quarter. Certainly.
It's hard to bet against Alabama any way you dice it at any moment in time.
It really is.
Sure. Oregon, number 13 overall, is at Texas Tech, laying just 6.5, over under 68.5. This smells like a trap to me, Dave. Oregon put up 84 points against Portland State last week. This is going to be a little bit different animal down in Lubbock at a 7 p.m. kickoff. It's going to be hot as well. Weather Oregon is not going to be used to either, right? I kind of like Texas Tech to win this game outright, plus 205.
That's interesting, Steve. Okay. I like it. Give me an overplay here. I think they can both probably put up some points.
You're probably right about that. Over under 68.5, the highest one I've seen on the board this week. So I hear you.
Think Texas Tech could be good for 25, and then Oregon if they can kind of stand up to the weather there. I mean, they could. They're not going to do 84 again, certainly, but I think the over here, even though that is pretty high.
It is pretty high until it was 28 to 21 at halftime, and then you're like, all right, I'm glad I took this.
Exactly.
All right, Wisconsin is at Washington State. Another interesting game. The Badgers laying 6.5 at Washington State. Over under is 58.5 here. I kind of like Wisconsin. I would lay the 6.5, getting less than a score to have the Badgers, who I think have an outside, not even an outside shot. I think they have a respectable shot to win the Big Ten just because their division's easier and they should find their way into that title game almost by default, really, I think. So I would lay it with the Badgers here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's not really much else to say. Wisconsin at 19, I think you go ahead and run with that spread there. For sure.
I think you stay with your Seminoles as well. The number 4 team overall, Florida State, laying 30.5 to Southern Miss. Now, Southern Miss is just going to be outclassed in this affair. The over-under is 52.5. I could see this being a completely a 42-3 game or something like that.
Yeah, this will be one I look at a margin of victory for sure.
I would maybe take a flyer on Stanford with a nice win at Hawaii, plus 29.5 at USC. Maybe just to hang in within that number to lose by 24 or 28 or 27 or something like that. That's going to be a late game where everyone's going to be on USC to try to bail out for the day. And that just makes me want to have Stanford in that kind of case. The over-under is 69.5. I could see this going over as well.
Yep. I think the over, or you could take a shot there. I think Stanford is actually getting a number that maybe they can cover.
And look at that. I mean, we have just a good slate of games here on
Saturday
Saturday
it's a great
night.
week too.
So starting at 5 o'clock, let's see, 5 o'clock. I mean, you go all the way back to 3:30 with Texas A&M and Miami. We'll just start after 5. Tulsa, Washington, Appy State, North Carolina, SMU, Oklahoma. You're like, okay, whatever. Not so great. Texas, Alabama is good. Oregon, Texas Tech is good. Wisconsin, Washington State. Big Ten against Pac-12, or formerly Pac-12, however you want to say it. You got the Seminoles on. Stanford and USC will be on. And then a couple other games. Oklahoma State at Arizona State. And Auburn is at California. Now, I don't know about Auburn. They're kind of a little bit of a mystery to me. California looked good. I would almost take California plus 6.5 here, or maybe to get the upset. But I could see that. I could see that being an over game as well, just at 53.5, because California was able to definitely score last week, and you got to figure Auburn's going to at least get something on the California defense.
That was my first initial thought, Steve. Is the over is kind of a safety net here.
And we have no Friday soccer paycheck because there's no EPL games this weekend or championship. They're on the international break as they start Champions League play next week. So we can divert all funds to college football this Saturday. And we'll try to come up with a nice winning slate overall. Let's see here. Any other games I'm missing? Those are the featured games. Let me see if there's anything else. We got Marshall, East Carolina. Trying to look for some lower tier, funner ones. North Texas, FIU. FIU's going to be bad.
Hawaii plays at midnight if you want to burn the midnight oil.
All right. Who do they got? Let's see.
Albany or something like that. A game they probably should actually win.
I got Hawaii to get 6 wins, so I'm going to hope for it at least anyway. I don't have them on the board right now. I got that game off the board. Who are they playing?
U of Albany or something like that.
Albany, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Other games. Let's see. Am I missing something here? Air Force at Sam Houston State. Arizona is at Mississippi State. Minus 9.5 for Mississippi State. Over under 60.5. I would kind of lean Mississippi State in this one. UCLA is at San Diego State. Minus 14.5 and 49.5 against San Diego State. Something tells me that's an under. Maryland hosts Charlotte, Temple, Rutgers, Eastern Michigan, Minnesota, Boise, Central Florida. I would take Central Florida at Boise, minus 3.5. The way that they rolled Kent State last week, and Boise is still feeling the effects of that second half thumping to Washington as well. All right, that's about most of the slate worth mentioning. All right, Dave, any other takes from the slate this weekend?
No, Steve, we're gonna come up with a lot of plays as we usually do on Saturday.
Yeah, I'd hate to give you some best bets because I see a bunch of them. Let's see here. We'll talk about the ACC games tomorrow. We'll get a little bit more depth into those guys. But yeah, I like Colorado to roll Nebraska for sure. And then, man, there's a lot of different ones. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting weekend, Dave, for sure.
Yeah, there's no
With
doubt
the NFL
about it.
starting as well. All right, we'll go ahead and get on out of here for tonight. If I don't have John Hale, I'll get Nephew Dave on here. We'll do the ACC games tomorrow. Nick Athen will be with us from Missouri. He'll be traveling from Kansas City. He'll go watch the game in the comfort of his home, driving back to Joplin. So we'll get him on the air to talk about the Chiefs. We'll do Del Grande on Sunday when we come on 7 o'clock a.m. Sunday morning for our weekly flagship show is what I should call it, right? These are just the subsidiary products, the 4 to 6 Tuesday through Thursday shows. Okay, baseball scores real quick before they tune me out here. 10-5, Diamondbacks, Rockies. 5-0 Phillies up over the Padres. I like that. All right, Dave, have a good one. This is the round robin. Have a good night, everyone.
Stop.